Hello everyone, this is Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield here from Transport Evolved. Let me open my garage door and then you'll be able to see better. I've got my thoughts of the day today. I'm afraid you're getting it from me while I'm driving. I'm sorry that my previous thought of the day didn't happen. Yesterday's didn't happen. We had a family member discharged from hospital and consequentially we haven't had a whole lot of sleep in the Gordon-Bloomfield family. Family must come first. I'm sorry. While I'm in the car, actually, let me just talk through my wireless charging system, which is connected to the wall there. You can't see it, but how I have to start my Nissan Leaf now is I have to put my foot on the brake pedal. That turns the charger off, release my pedal, and then turn the car back on. I don't have to unplug anything. I just get in and drive. So I'm running a little errand, and I thought today you guys could come along and enjoy my thoughts of the day in the process. Now, thank you very much for your comments regarding what we should do with older electric cars and battery packs once they kind of reach the end of their useful life. Very, very interesting comments. Lots of people had some great ideas about what we can do and how we can use those vehicles moving forwards. For me, I did enjoy all of the comments except the person who told me that the RAV4 EV should be recycled because it was too old. I once owned 100 years worth of cars. I had 3 cars and I had over 100 years worth of motoring history in my garage. And so I don't think there is such a thing as a car that's too old. As long as it still meets the needs for the job that you want to use it for, then it's fine. My RAV4 EV, for example, meets the needs of our family runabout, the Nissan Leaf being our main long distance car, thanks to its CHAdeMO quick charging, or CHAdeMO quick charging. Now, what do I want to talk to you about today? Well, it's a comment that's come up in a blog post that we wrote over at transportevolved.com this week, talking about the pricing of the Chevrolet Bolt EV and comparing that car to the Tesla Model 3. And with lots of people saying, well, you shouldn't be comparing the Tesla Model 3 to the Chevrolet Bolt EV, which raises the question, what car should we be comparing it to? Several people said, well, you should be comparing it to a gasoline-powered vehicle. Fair enough. I think that's a great idea. But the problem is this. I honestly can't think of a gasoline vehicle that would be truly comparable, because at $37,495 before incentives, that's a pretty hefty car. And I think if you compare it to a comparably priced gasoline car, you're not going to find very many cars that will cross-shop competitively. And I think really what we need to be comparing it to is total cost of ownership over the life of the car to another mid-sized car or another compact car. I know it sits right on that boundary. It looks very much like a compact car. I think it probably is still, because of its interior volume, it's probably classed as a mid-sized car. But I think maybe we should be comparing that car to other cars that over 10 years have a similar total ownership cost. Does that make sense? Because if we compare a $37,495 car, even if we take that $7,500 off and then we say, okay, it's just under 30 grand, we compare that to another car that's 30 grand-ish, then we're up into the high-end luxury car segment. And I'm not sure if the Chevrolet Bolt EV does fit into the luxury EV car segment. I'm not even sure that the Tesla Model 3 will fit into that segment, although it will fit into that segment far better. So the reason why I think we should be okay comparing the Chevrolet Bolt EV and Tesla Model 3 is because they're both electric cars. They both offer similar range. They both offer, they're both trying to go after the same sort of price range. And I think price, power, those are the two big reasons why you should compare them. Yes, the Tesla Model 3's got a whole load of autonomy and other things that the Bolt EV does not have at the moment. But I think that means that we need to be prepared to compare it anyway, because really cross-shopping electric vehicles is really hard because there's not that many that fit that particular point. You know, in 4 or 5 years' time, when every automaker is making a 200 to 300 mile EV, then maybe we can compare them differently. But right now, it feels like the Chevrolet Bolt EV and Tesla Model 3 are the only two cars that we can really compare. When Audi comes out with its long-range car, when Volkswagen comes out with its long-range car, then we can expand that. When the Tesla Model 3 actually launches, obviously then we'll know more about its specifics. But also when Nissan launches its next generation Leaf, we're also going to be able to compare that, throw it into the mix as well. And I think then we'll be able to be a little more subtle in our comparisons. I also want you to think back to 2011, when the Nissan Leaf and the Chevrolet Volt first hit the market. We were comparing those two cars side by side as an industry, and those two cars are very different. You know, this is a fully electric car that can be driven in all electric mode for, at the time, the 2011 cars, for about 70 to 80 miles of usable range. Some of them had rapid charging capabilities, some did not. But you also have noticed over time that people have stopped comparing the Bolt and the Leaf, because there have been other cars around that have been made better comparisons. Let's put it like that. So I want to know what you think, what cars you think we should be comparing the Chevrolet Bolt EV to, and what cars we should be comparing the Tesla Model 3 to, because I'm struggling. I've given you my thoughts. Now it's time to give me yours in the comments below. Thanks for watching again. I will try my hardest to do a TEN for tomorrow. I've already started work on it, but as you've probably picked up from this week, the ongoing family health crisis means that I really don't have a whole lot of predictability right now, and I'm feeling terrible about it, especially for those of you who support on Patreon, because you guys rock, and I'm doing my best to try and make sure I hit those milestones and those guidelines. So fingers crossed there'll be a show tomorrow from me in regards to 10. If not, I will try and do a thought of the day, and I will see you soon. Until then, don't forget to keep evolving.